Just slice 3 steaks, it's not hard.
Why do you always give in to her, my man?
What do you mean give in to her?
Was there, I know you said there was some improvisation. Was there a particular storyline, or did you have to adapt the storyline in order to rap, or?
The rehearsal process was really complex because we did have a script. We had a script, a solid script, but there was no specific dialogue in the script. There was bullet points. The way we wrote it was bullet points in terms of what needed to be said at what point. So then the way we rehearsed it was I would get all the actors in place in positions where they would be, and we called it scene 1, and we numbered the scenes, but there was no actual scenes.
Let's chat about Stephen for a second.
Right.
What a performance in this role. He seems like such an inspired choice for the lead. Did you picture him in the role when you were kind of developing those bullet points, when you were putting this thing together?
Stephen and I have been close friends for 20 years. We were in Band of Brothers together. Again, going back to that's the friendship that we've all become. So when I was directing my very first short film, the one about the young boxer called Seconds Out, which is on YouTube, I wanted Stephen to play a small part in that. So I called him up and said, look, I'm doing my first short. I'd love you to be in it. Would you be in it? And he was like, looking back, I really respect him for this, but he basically said, let's get the first one out the way. Let's see how you get on. And if you're any good, then maybe we can talk. But looking back, I was like, okay, I totally understand why you did that. And so I showed him the first short once it was completed, and he absolutely loved it. And he was like, right, when are you looking to do it? I said, well, we're looking to do it, as soon as we get that person on board, but pretty soon, I think it was September, and we wanted to basically shoot it in as soon as possible, really. And he said, okay, well, I could probably give you a few days in December. I was like, what? He said, yeah, man, I would love to do this if you'll have me. If you'll have me, I'll do it. I was like, if we'll have you.
You're like,
oh my gosh. Yeah. And so
did he have restaurant industry background himself to draw from? So
absolutely not. No.
So is he the type of person who prepares for months and months, or is he so talented that he can just walk in, show up the day, and just nail it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. We did have some training. We had some chef training for the chefs, but it was only a few days. He literally he just goes all in on his roles. He will do as much research as he can. But because he's so busy, he's working back to back. He didn't have much time to do this. But so we had a couple of real chefs on set, sort of consulting and showing him different ways on how he could look like a chef.
Yeah.
Chefs move in a certain way, and they hold things in a certain way, other than like a knife, for example, or even a spoon. Chefs hold spoons different ways. They articulate with their hands a lot. So it was getting those sort of nuances down. Yeah.
So your first two feature films, Villain and Boiling Point, on the outside looking in, are two very different films with very different subjects. Do you see any commonalities, though, in your work so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's people have asked me, what is your style? What is your kind of movies? And the truth is, I don't really have a particular genre that I like to go for. I just like, ultimately it comes down to character and and the performances, really, and it's the nuances in characters as well in scripts. When I'm reading scripts now, it's got to be about that central character, and not just the central character. Everybody around has to feel real, and that's sort of what I brought to Villain, and everything I've done so far is, I like to sort of let the actors play a little bit, and the script is written, and I respect the script writers, but I will always say to the script writers, look, if something comes up on the day, I want the actors to feel completely open. And what I will tend to do is, we will do a couple of takes what's on the script, but then the last take, maybe 2 takes, where it's like, right, go for your life, do what you want, as long as it's in the same vicinity of what's going on, and we're not going off on a tangent. You're not doing a Shakespearean monologue for 2 hours. Then let's just see what happens, you know. But I think, yeah, it's all about character. It's got to be character driven, and that could be set anywhere. It could be set on the moon. It could be set in 1,000 years in the future. Whatever, it doesn't matter. For me, it's just got to be real within that world, you know.
So now that you've sat firmly in the director's seat, do you have any specific themes or subject matter that you want to explore in your work in the future?
Mental health is a big thing for me, because again, and it goes back to me talking about, you know, the nuances in characters, and really the vulnerability in these characters. And I think that's really important for me. You know, I'm being sent a lot of scripts. I signed with a big agent over in Los Angeles a few months ago, and they're sending me a lot of scripts, and, you know, I'm reading a lot of things, and some of them are like, wow, this is incredible, but I just don't feel like it's my vibe, you know. I just don't know what I would bring. I think another director will bring something completely different to that, and I think so. I'm learning to be able to say no to things, and, you know, and also just have my own sort of. I'm developing a style, I guess.
You've spoke glowingly of the role that music in film plays, and specifically composers. How does music play into your filmmaking process?
Well, it's huge for me, because I'm a big music fan. I love music, and I've listened to music since I was, you know, I've listened to music, not just to listen to music, but I've always, whenever looking back as a child, even, like, I'd have headphones in or whatever, and I'd be staring out of a window, and I'd pretend I'm in a movie, like, no matter what the genre. Like, I remember being on a skiing holiday once, and I was listening to Guns N' Roses, and just like skiing down the mountain as fast as I could, and I was just like, I'm in a movie. I'm in this movie.
Yeah, I think the
So
ultimate would be the Bond theme song. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah. I mean, if I tried to do that now, I'd probably break my legs. But yeah, back then when I was younger, I had no fear. But yeah, it's a huge thing for me. And actually, funny enough, there's no music in Boiling Point, and we did try to put some music in there, but because of the one take thing, it almost took away from the tension, and that's what I was wanted to create in that movie, is the tension. So, you know, my composers who I worked with on Villain, and also the shorts I did, David and Aaron, they are just amazing at what they do. And so they sent me some samples, you know, to the picture, and I was like, it's beautiful what you've done. The music is beautiful, but it's just taking something away for some reason. For the first time, it didn't gel.
So, where can our audience catch Boiling Point right now? Is there streaming or buying or on the big screen or otherwise?
Yeah, so it's due for release in the United States on the 19th of November, and it'll be in a small, I believe it's a small release in cinemas, in theaters, initially, and then it will go straight onto streaming platforms. I think maybe a couple of weeks or a week after that, and then yes, it'll be on all the streaming platforms over there, and I guess it'll be on Netflix at some point. It's definitely going to be on Netflix in the UK at some point, I believe. But yeah, it's 19th of November is when it's released.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us. I've really
Thank you.
enjoyed our chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Philip Barantini.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.